Hey, this is Sanford from San Don 21. How are you doing? I'm sitting here in my wood shop drinking me a Dr. Pepper and talking to you people. My chest I've been working on is finished. There's a few little spots that's drying right now with the varnish, but other than that, it's done. Done told my friend, hey, it's done. Come get it when you get ready. Yeah, I've been had a couple people tell me that I need to change the name of my YouTube and Facebook channel from San Don 21 to something else. So my question to you is, do you think my name's too long? Do you think it's hard to remember? Do you think I ought to change it, in other words? If so, leave a comment. If you have a suggestion, leave a comment. And while you're leaving that comment, go ahead and hit a like and a subscribe and a bell and all that good stuff. So, that's the question of the day. Donna is going to join me occasionally. She has been posting some stuff on her YouTube channel, which is Enchanting Mist, or maybe Donna Hicks and Enchanting Mist. I'm not, either way, I think you can find it. She's been posting some videos of some of her crafts, how she's doing them. She's got some more for sale. Blah blah, so go check that out. Also, her Facebook, Enchanting Mist, if you want to see some pictures of some of the crafts she's done and some of the stuff, go check it out. She's always got little things in there for sale or whatever, so check it out. Like I said, she will be with me occasionally, but I think as of right now, I'm kind of doing my thing just because I've been laid off of work so long. I think we're kind of, just getting some free time between each other, type deal. So I'm just going to talk about stuff that I know, and when she joins me, we'll talk together like we have before in the past. I'm thinking about, because of all the crap going on in the world right now, I'm kind of a positive person, always have been, always a person to make friends. I don't care who you are. Male, female, black, white, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I'm either going to be a friend or I'm not. I've always been a friendly type person. And so I'm thinking about adding maybe a 10-15 minute segment in my videos of something positive, something good, something to make you smile, something to make you laugh, whatever. So I'm going to do some little research online. Try to find some of those. It may be news, it may be just something somebody posted, whatever it may be. If I find it positive, if I find it funny, or whatever, then I'm going to share what I can with you at times for that. And then on the same video, so it'd be like broke up in 3 segments of something else. So I'm gonna do something on this video that's kind of gonna be a little weird, and that is that here I am in my wood shop, but I'm not gonna talk to you nothing about wood or crafting or anything like that. I'm gonna talk to you about one of my other things that I love to do, and that is cooking. One of them is bread pudding. A lot of people don't like bread pudding, or they say they don't like bread pudding because of the texture, basically. A lot of bread puddings is kind of soggy, that, kind of a putty, custardy type texture. Well, the ones I do is still got that, but it's in the center. Most of it's more like a cake texture. And so it's a lot different. Still basically made the same, I guess. But this is my recipe, and then I'll give you some additives that I use to change it up occasionally. So I don't ever measure nothing, so all these measurements I'm giving you is just kind of picturing in my head as to what I do when I make it. Number one is I use 350, preheat my oven at 350. I use usually a glass casserole dish. I like the ones that are a little more smaller but taller. So when you cook it, it's going to rise anyway, somewhat. But I like it to where it's thick, instead of flat or whatever. So Then there's times I'll use ramekins, depending on if it's just something for me and my wife, or me and the kids, or grandkids, or whatever. I'll do that. So, to get it started, basically you can use any bread you want, from biscuits to bread, white bread, sourdough bread, wheat bread, it don't matter. For my wedding, I made this. I cooked brisket and everything out. Started about 4 o'clock in the morning, and one of the things I made was this bread pudding, and this bread pudding was made from bread and Krispy Kreme donuts, which turned out really nice. So use pretty much anything you want, any type of bread you have, leftovers, ones that's fixing to go bad, whatever, and use it. Now, bread, I'm not going to be able to give you a measurement. I'll just kind of tell you how when it's enough, and go from there. But basically, you get a bowl, put about four eggs, large eggs, 2 tablespoons of vanilla, I'd say about 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and a cup to a cup and a quarter or so of milk. Like I said, I just kind of put together. I know what I do, So, but sugar, eggs, vanilla, milk. Okay. Basically, that's almost a pretty decent recipe for a custard, give or take a little bit of measurements. And then you can add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of cinnamon. Once that's all done, you beat it up to where all the eggs are nice and beat up, and you start adding your bread. You can cut it, you can tear it, however you want to do it. I just break it off into big, bite-sized pieces. And as you're adding your bread, just kind of use a spoon or whatever and push it down into the mixture. Once you're able to not get that bread down into the mixture, you've got enough. Making sense? I hope so. Basically, you want your custard just covering your bread, or donuts, or whatever it is you're using. Let it set for a little bit. While it's setting, I get my casserole dish out. I'll take some this margarine, wipe it around the bottom and the sides, put about a 1/4 cup of sugar, and then move it around in there like you would if you're doing oil and flour, if you're making a cake and you're trying to flour your pan. For those of you that still do that, a lot of you use that spray now. Well, it won't work. Yeah, I mean, it'll work, but it ain't the same deal. If you use sugar instead of flour, it gives it kind of a sweet, crispy outside, and it's also easy to get out of the pan, believe it or not. So, once all that's done, pour your mixture into that pan, put it in the oven. I want to say at probably an hour. Okay, you can use the old toothpick deal. Poke it in there. Like I said, the inside is the center of it is going to be the kind of the gooey, but it won't stick to your toothpick because it's done. But do that, take it out. Make you just a quick frosting with powdered sugar, a little bit of milk, or powdered sugar, a little bit of water, or whatever, and a little bit of vanilla. So say 2 cups of powdered sugar, a teaspoon of or tablespoon, depending on how much you like, of vanilla, and then add your water or your milk to it a little bit at a time until it gets the consistency that you want, and then just take your spoon and drizzle it over top of your bread pudding, and you're done. Nice, simple, easy. Now, some of the additives that I use to change up a little bit is I like raisins. I'll get a package of the frozen mixed fruits. By the way, let me speak one deal on that, on frozen fruits. If you like fruits that are actually fresh, ripe, frozen fruit is the way to go. So if you're making, whether it's for salads or making ice cream or whatever, the frozen fruit. And the reason I say that is because The frozen fruit was a little bit too ripe for them to ship, because the time it got here it'd be overripe and going bad. So they'd freeze it. And so, like when you buy green bananas at the grocery store, or strawberries that's still a little green, if you go to the frozen fruit aisle, get it, be nice, ripe, sweet, tastes like a strawberry, tastes like a banana, or whatever it is you got. So I get the mixed fruit with the strawberries, the blueberries, or the peaches, or whatever I decide, and I'll just cut it up into little pieces, chunks or whatever, and mix it into my batter as well before I put it in my casserole dish. Sometimes I'll add a little brown sugar to it. Sometimes I'll add a little rum to it, but molasses, a lot of times I'll still use the same amount of sugar and vanilla and everything, but I'll add like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of molasses. I love the blackstrap molasses. That's probably about the best molasses you can get, as far as I'm concerned. And so, very simple. So, if I spoke that too quickly, just rewind a little bit, listen to it, and write it down, and try it, give it a shot. And if you do give it a shot, give me a comment. Leave me a comment, please. Another recipe. Well, I don't even want to say it's a recipe. It's just something I found out by practice, and it's for anybody, male or female, that likes to cook out on the grill or a smoker or something like that, and you want to use a dry rub. You can go to the store, you can buy a dry rub, you can make your own, all that. With me, I make my dry rubs, and the way that I do mine is I use the spices that I like. And that goes pretty much with anything that I cook. If I like it, so forth. So, on a dry rub, what I do is I do equal parts of all my spices. Now, if you have one spice particularly that you like, that you want in there, maybe it's a hot spice, depending on how much heat you want, you might want to fluctuate that. You don't want to use, salt and then turn around and use garlic salt. Use garlic powder, okay? If it's a spice that you like, but it can be very overpowering, like some of your Italian spices are that way, knock it back a little bit. But there's no rules with it. Basically, on my dry rubs, I start off with is salt, pepper, garlic powder, cumin, and then I'll use cayenne pepper, but because my wife don't like hot stuff or whatever, then I'll probably use like half of what I've been using for the other spices. So if you're using 3 tablespoons of all the other spices, or half a cup, whatever, do half of the cayenne pepper. Add a little chili powder if you want to. Just whatever is going into that type of spice that you want. You want to go, Texas style. If you want to go to Louisiana style, you want to go, just whatever spices you like. Hot, sweet, spicy, whatever. That's it. Save you some money. You can bag it up, put it in the deal, use it next time. And you just put that on your brisket or your chicken or pork or whatever it is that you're fixing to bake or grill or smoke or whatever, and call it good. And so hopefully that is helpful to you. If so, leave me a comment. And then let's see here. There was one other one. All right. I wasn't going to put this one in there, but I guess I will. This here, it's going to seem like a lot of work, but actually it's not. And it does take some time. It takes to do it right. It takes about 2 days probably. 3 days if you whatever. But you make a bunch of them at the same time, and then they'll last you for quite some time. And that is fried ice cream. And it's very simple. A lot of people say, well, it'll blow up, or it'll do this, it'll do that, it'll melt in your fryer, you know, whatever. Uh, if you go to a Mexican restaurant and get fried ice cream, they usually use butterscotch, or I don't remember what the other one is, but either way, it's kind of more like a candy on top of it. I don't care for that. Well, the ingredients that I'm fixing to tell you right now is very simple. I would suggest to use the name brand, at least for a couple of them. I'll tell you what those are, and the reason why. But your main ingredient is corn flakes. Use the name brand. Then your only way I know how to say it is Oreos. Use the name brand. Reason being, especially the corn flakes, I've tried it with the cheaper brands, and they just don't have the same taste. Once you fry them, they taste yucky and burnt and whatever, and all that. So, nuts, if you don't have either, there's no nut allergies or nothing like that. I use pecans and sometimes walnuts, and then coconut. And basically, there's really no measurements to it. I use, say 4 or 5 cups or so of the corn flakes. Those Oreos coming in long rolls, whatever. Use like one of those rolls, and your nuts and everything, your coconut. Crunch it all up, put it in a baggie if you need to, but just crunch it all up with a rolling pin. Basically, you want it mixed and fine and all together. Your ice cream, you can use whatever ice cream you want. It does not matter. I wouldn't suggest using like a gelato, but just a regular ice cream. No matter if it's brand name or not, whatever type of ice cream you like, and use a ice cream scoop. Get a cookie sheet. Make the balls however big the balls you want. Put them on a cookie sheet, cover with cellophane really good, put it in the freezer for about 5 to 6 hours. Take them out of the freezer, roll it into that mixture, put it back on a cookie sheet, wrap it, put it back in the freezer for about another 2 hours. And you can do this like a day and a day and a day, or however you want to do it. And then for your next rolling, you'll take a couple of eggs, add a little bit of water, make it like an egg wash, some sugar, mix it all together really good. You'll take each one of those ice cream balls, put it in your wet mixture, and then back in your dry mixture, and just very quickly look and make sure there is no like ice cream showing. Okay, because if there is, that's when it just goes like that in your oil. Okay, so just make sure it's fully covered. Put it in there, wrap it up good, put it in the freezer, forget about it. You can make it, make it that night. You make it next day. You can make 2 of them, 3 of them, whatever you need, depending on how many's in your family. And basically, all it is use a good oil. Use a, I use peanut oil when I'm doing stuff like that because it don't hold on to flavors. It don't burn as quickly. The flash point's higher, things like that. But if you can't use peanut oil because of allergies or something, use a Crisco or something like that. You need enough grease in there to deep fry because you want it totally submerged, and you want it as hot as you can get it. I seen one recipe one time wanted like 600 degrees. Well, it's harder than hell to get grease 600 degrees. It takes a while, and if you're using a cheap one, a cheap oil, it burns. So just get it, really hot. Use a little thermometer, get 400, 500, whatever you can. Then you'll take tongs, dip them in there in that grease for about 30, 45 seconds. Take it out, put it on a plate, just drizzle some caramel or spray some whipped cream or whatever on top of it and serve it. Excellent, tastes good, and it seems like a lot of work, but it's not. It's very simple. It just takes a little time to do the freezing in between stages. So if you make a full cookie sheet, there's only 3 of you in a family or 2 of you in the family, you'll have dessert for, a couple weeks, every Friday for next 3 days or whatever, next to 2 Fridays. So, but that's all I've got for you. I know it's kind of weird having a cooking deal out here in the wood shop, but hey, I had to talk to you. I missed you. Hit my like button, subscribe, leave me a comment. Try my recipes, leave me a comment as well, whether you liked it or didn't like it or whatever. And then turn me on when I come on next time. Later. Be safe.